What's going on, guys? I appreciate you stopping in and check out the review. This is one that I've been meaning to spend time with for quite some time, and I've been putting it through the ringer with a lot of test sprays. It's actually my scent of the day today, and it's impressive. It is similar to what people say it's most similar to, that being Bleu de Chanel. But honestly, I like this a little bit better than Bleu de Chanel. I find that the spices here with ginger and such, which we'll discuss in a little bit, kind of give it more of a pleasing character to my taste over Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette. Of course, we are talking about Missoni Parfum pour Homme. Very affordable, great fragrance, as we'll discuss. So stay tuned. So, love the magnetic cap. So the way this one opens up, it's a blast of citruses. There's lime, there's grapefruit, there's a lemony smell. There's a little bit of a lot going on, honestly. And you do get a nice hit of the ginger. The ginger is what I spoke of in the intro. It comes across very well on my skin. I actually have a spray on each forearm, 2 on the chest, 3 around the neck. I've really been enjoying this. I have a gorgeous sillage going around my entire area. All of where I can smell it, basically. It's not too strong, but it's coming across very well on my skin. And this is very birch dominant. I actually do get a nice hit of birch early on, and that does start to get a little bit more smoky, crispy, warm, spicy ginger. As it settles down more and more and the citruses start to burn off, this isn't overtly complex. There is a touch of floral tones after the citruses start to calm down that come out from the heart of the fragrance. But for the most part, I get a citrus medley at the top with a light touch of incensey smokiness type of smell from the birch that's in the base of the fragrance. Just a little bit of it, because smoky notes, incensey notes, things like that, as I've mentioned many times, really do well with my skin chemistry, and they really pop off of my skin. It's no different here with Missoni Parfum. And it's, like I said, as the citruses start to calm down, the ginger and the birch kind of take over the fragrance with a light touch of florals. There's a little bit of a woody nuance in the backdrop. There's nothing really earthy about the fragrance outside of the smokiness that I do get from the birch. But it's a very pleasant smell. It does resemble Bleu de Chanel. There's a lot of aspects about the scent profile that are similar, but there's also several aspects of it with as far as notes and balance of the way the notes are composed in this actual composition. It's not exactly the same. Like, as it dries, there's more differences than there are similarities. It's mainly the opening where you're really going to find a strong similarity. If you've smelled Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette before, you're immediately going to think Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette. But like I said, as it starts to dry, on my skin at least, it becomes more about ginger, birch, and a touch of florals, which that's not exactly the case when it comes to Bleu de Chanel, though the incense in Bleu de Chanel does pop on me, obviously, but they have just as many differences as they do similarities. And to be honest with you, like I said in the intro, this kind of suits my taste a little bit more than Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette, so I'll get much more mileage out of this bottle than I ever would out of a bottle of Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette, and it's a fraction of the price. This is a very affordable fragrance, and it's absolutely worth a sample. You can get these really cheap. You can get official decants, you can get small travel atomizers for just spending, a little more than a couple of bucks to really find out if you're going to like this fragrance. And I actually do like the fragrance quite a bit. So let's talk about performance. As far as what I've been experiencing, it's been falling in the 7 to 8 hour range in longevity on my skin. I've actually been very impressed with the longevity of this fragrance. I was expecting it to fall maybe 6, 7 hours if I'm lucky, but it's kind of edged more towards the 8 hour range pretty much every time I've sprayed it on my skin. Kind of a little bit better performance than I get from its flanker, Missoni Wave, which I actually had Missoni Wave before I had this one. Kind of put off getting it for a long time. The projection is not too in your face. This one's more about its sillage after the, roughly arm's length type of projection calms down after about an hour and a half. It has more consistency to it because it's an eau de parfum, even though it's called Parfum pour Homme, it is an eau de parfum concentration, so it has the richness and the type of sillage you would expect from an eau de parfum where it lingers. It's a nice consistent scent bubble where it's not really thick. It's not on the heavy side of sillage, but it's not really weak to where you won't be able to smell yourself even in the mild area. I would put it more in that moderate to mild area of sillage strength to where it's noticeable, it's detectable. You will be able to smell yourself, and when you pass by somebody within a few feet, if they're breathing through their nose, they're more than likely going to smell you. Are they going to tell you they smell you and how good you smell or how good you do not smell? Who knows? You never know how and when those types of things are going to happen. But the performance matches the scent profile. It's very consistent. It's not loud and in your face, but it is pretty long lasting. And like I said, you can definitely smell yourself pretty easily. At least I can off of my skin. Performance on this one, definitely solid. Final thoughts on Missoni Parfum pour Homme. So I had put off getting this one for a long time. I had sampled it before. I knew I liked it. I just wasn't wowed by it. I tried it again, and it was like, okay, eventually I do need to get this. It is growing on me. Every time I spray it, I seem to like it more and more. And I ended up rolling the dice in I want to say I got it from Fragrance Net. Might have been my eBay haul. I've had a lot of fragrance hauls at the recording of this in recent weeks. And this one came in, and I started spending, a little bit of time with it right away. In the last week or so, I've spent a lot more time with it. And I find myself, this is one of those fragrances I find myself enjoying more and more with every single spray. It is that good, in my opinion. I think it's a very good fragrance. Absolutely a 7.5 out of 10. You could do a lot worse with your money. For the around $40 range that you're going to spend on this fragrance, it's actually a fantastic buy that doesn't smell chemically synthetic, doesn't come across as cheap, is a great alternative to the more expensive and just as more popular, honestly, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette. I think this is a better buy overall because you get most of the benefits of the scent profile and recognition of Bleu de Chanel for, like half the price and then some, depending on where you find it, because it's hard to find Bleu de Chanel discounted. You're paying retail probably 9 times out of 10, whereas you can find deals where you can get this in the 30 some odd dollar range sometimes. So it's a bargain, it's a great scent profile, and it performs really well. Super versatile, age appropriate for anybody. It's a little more mature than Bleu de Chanel because some of the darker tones come out more in this one than they do in Bleu de Chanel. So I would say maybe, above teenagers, young men, 20 plus on up to, 90-year-old men, whoever's still wearing fragrances late into life. This will work with everybody. Signature scent worthy type of stuff all year round, every situation. It's that good. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Missoni Parfum pour Homme. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this and what do you think about it? I know there's a lot of fans of this fragrance. There's a lot of people that have, wondered why I didn't get it sooner. And, there's so many fragrances I want to experience, I want to try, I want to get my hands on. There's only so much money and so much time out there. It's a process. Usually if it's something that I'm pretty confident I'll like, I will get to it eventually, and that's the case with fragrances like this, with Missoni Parfum. It's a very good fragrance. That's why I got the rating it did, and it's definitely worth getting your nose on, especially if maybe there's just something about Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette that just doesn't jive with you. That's always been my thing with it. The EDT is kind of my least favorite, even though this is more relatable to technically the EDP because of the concentration, but my favorite Bleu de Chanel is the Parfum. Obviously, I do think that's better than this one, but I feel like this is a better alternative to getting the other concentrations of Bleu de Chanel because, like I said before, you get all the pluses without having to spend the money. So until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Missoni Parfum and you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.